Hi artists! In this lesson we're going to learn how to make paper mache earths. Our preschool students at Montessori worked really hard on these awesome paper mache globes in honor of our planet Earth. Here's how we made them. First, you need lots of scraps of paper. To see how to tear paper, watch the Mosaic Part 2 video. Standard weight everyday paper or newsprint works best for paper mache. Thicker or heavier weight paper like cardstock or construction paper will not work very well because they do not soak up the paper mache paste as quickly and cannot be molded to your form as easily. Next, you need to make your paste. Mix together equal parts flour and water. Be sure to mix your paste really well and try to get rid of any clumps. It should be a smooth, slimy liquid. If you want a thicker paste, just add more flour. Be prepared to get messy. But don't worry, this paste will wash right off with soap and water when we're done. Cover your workspace with newspaper and a placemat or tray to catch all the mess. Paper plates work well too. You will also need a balloon and a cup to make your form. Have a grown-up blow up your balloon to make a sphere or globe to use as the form for your earth. Try to make it round by releasing some air before you tie it. If you don't have a balloon, you can also use paper or tin foil crumbled into a ball. Next, tape your sphere to the cup. This will make a stand to work on and help your paper mache dry evenly. Now we are ready to begin pasting our paper. Dip a piece of paper one at a time into the paste. Make sure you dunk it all the way so it gets completely soaked by the paste. Place the paper on your form and smooth out as many wrinkles as you can. Then soak another piece of paper and place it next to the first piece. Put one edge of the second piece on top of the first so it overlaps. This will help cover any gaps. Repeat the process until your entire form is covered with paper. Make sure to smooth out each piece as you stick it on and overlap your paper so it completely covers your form. This is where it gets messy. Don't forget, it will wash right off when we're done. The paper mache technique was first used in China around 200 BC. This makes sense, seeing as China invented paper itself. They used paper mache to make helmets. Eventually, people all over the world began to use paper mache to make all sorts of things like masks, decorations, toys, and dolls. The French words papier mâché actually translate to mean chewed paper. It is believed that artists in France used to chew pieces of paper to make it easy to mold into different forms. This flour paste doesn't seem so gross now. Once the form is completely covered, let it dry overnight. You can also place it in the sun for a few hours until it is completely dry. What a mess! Time to wash our hands. I use an old toothbrush to get my fingernails nice and clean. Once dried, the paper mache is hard. Amazing! To make our form stronger, we are going to add another layer of paper mache. It's a good idea to use a different color for each layer so you can see the areas that have not yet been covered. We used blue paper as our second color because we're making planet Earth, which is mostly covered with blue water. If you don't have colored paper, don't worry. We'll paint our forms after they dry. Once your entire form is covered with a second layer, let it dry completely. Feel how much stronger it is with the second layer. Now it's time to remove our form from the cup and take out the balloon. Gently press the balloon to unstick it from the paper mache. Get a grown-up to help you pop the balloon. These are some of the balloon guts from our globes at Montessori. Now you have your very own paper mache globe. To help it stand still, have a grown-up help you trim the bottom of your globe so that it's even. Now we're ready to paint. But first, let's look at some pictures of Earth from space. We know there are 7 continents. There's North and South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, then comes Australia. Don't forget Antarctica, the 7 continents, the 7 continents. Let's paint our globe. We know that our planet is covered mostly with water, so the first coat of paint will be blue. Cover your entire globe with blue paint. Don't forget to keep your brush on its toes and let it glide the paint on smoothly like an ice skater. Don't squish its tush. If your brush dries out, dip it in more paint. Because these are not watercolor paints, we only need to use water to rinse our brush in between colors. Once you have covered your earth with water, you can let it dry or go right ahead with your continents. If you don't let it dry first, the colors might blend together. If you do let it dry, the colors will not mix. It all depends on how you want your globe to look. If you looked closely, you may have noticed on the pictures of Earth there were areas of yellow and brown. These are the parts of Earth that do not get much rain, so they are dry, sandy deserts. Most of our land is covered with green plants or vegetation. So to keep it simple, I'm going to paint my continents green. You can really be creative and paint your Earth however you want. You're the artist. Don't forget to rinse your brush before switching colors if you don't want them to mix. Be sure to dry your brush before dipping it back into the paint. And don't worry if you don't get the shapes just right. Our globes are way smaller than the actual Earth, so it's hard to add a lot of small details. Just have fun and be creative. What about the white? When you look at Earth from space, you can see all of the weather clouds moving across our planet. Use the white paint to make swirls of clouds across your Earth. When you are finished, let your Earth dry completely. This should only take an hour or so. To finish your globe, paint the inside with paint, glue, or Mod Podge. I'm going to use white paint. This will protect the paper mache by sealing it and making it stronger. Once you are done, put your Earth on display and enjoy your creation.